Today's Saturday, February 3rd. It's been a week since we went to go pick up the 430 crawler, and the new task for today is to get it moved from my driveway to the side of the house. So, what we're dealing with. So, I was able to finally get it off my trailer. I had to have my buddy Ron from Beach Towing here in Virginia Beach come out with his rollback flatbed and help me get it removed from my trailer and into my driveway. The engine, I believe, is stuck. I haven't really messed with it yet. It wasn't a priority. The tracks when I got it, if you remember from that last video, were super tight. So I was able to, this week, soaking these nuts here on the idler wheel tensioner to get the idler wheel to move back. And as you can see, there's now the proper amount of sag in the tracks, so they're not tight like banjo springs. But anyway, same thing on this side. Kind of hard to do when it's outside and rusty. The problem I'm running into here is, and I'm not sure if it's gonna pick this up on video or not, but let's see if it'll focus in there. You can kind of see where this hub has an axle through here and it's twisted forward. So basically this whole rear sprocket is kicked over at an angle. I believe that's because of the bearings in the final driver. I'm sure they're shot. And again, the lighting's terrible here. You're probably not going to be able to see this, but here's your rear sprocket, and this is your rear idler wheel. And the way it's sitting right now, the tips of the teeth on this sprocket are actually touching. This is the part that rolls on the rail of the track, but the inside piece here, the teeth are actually touching that part of the roller. There's another piece here, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but this almost looks like a brake shoe. That's designed so that when you're using the crawler in snow or mud, as trash builds up inside the track in this rail, it's going to start to basically stretch everything and tension this track so it's too tight. So this is designed to help clean that stuff out, and in the event that the track does get too tight, it'll pull this sprocket forward like it's doing and basically act like a brake on the tips of these sprocket teeth. So even though I've gotten the track loosened, the tips of the sprocket are still touching that I'll call it a brake for now. I know that's not what it is, but and also touching the inside of this roller. So hopefully there's going to be enough freedom in this thing where I can at least get it to roll freely. So my plan is to get my 855 out and see if I can't push it up my driveway. My driveway's kind of on an incline. I'll see if I can hold this level. That's level. It's like a 3 or 4 degree incline. But anyway, just a test to make sure that my little 855 is going to have enough oomph to move this thing. So if it can push it straight up the incline, then I think we should be good moving it to the side of the house. So basically I got to get it turned clockwise so the back end is facing this way, and I need to push it in this direction across my yard, trying not to tear it up too much. I got some big rubber mats I can put down, and then get it back here in my work area. So as you can see, the blade, I got this off last, I think it was Wednesday afternoon, Tuesday or Wednesday. So really wasn't too bad, just these 2 big pins that pin into the frame. They came out fairly easy. So, and then the actual frame itself that holds that blade to the crawler is over here. Gotta position myself here so it's under the bucket of my loader. But this whole frame arm assembly is solid. I mean, it's got to be every bit of 600 or 700 pounds. So needless to say, while I was moving it last week, you can see the hydraulic spray on my hood. I had this hydraulic hose going from the rod and the head end of the tilt cylinder for my bucket, blew out and got oil all over me, the tractor, up the front of my garage. So I wasn't able to use the tilt function, but at least I could lift up and down, and I was able to get this massive frame moved over here. So I got the new hose put on. John Deere told me 3 to 5 business days. I got it in 2, so pretty good. You know, they're not cheap. It was $108 for that one little hydraulic hose. So, you know, people always want to wonder why these tractors are so expensive. I mean, once you start getting, I think there's 8 actual rubber hoses on this tractor. I mean, that's $800 just in hydraulic hoses. So anyway, hose is fixed. Let's start this thing up here in a little bit, let it warm up, and get this frame moved out of the way, and then see if we can't push this crawler around a little bit. Ultimately, the plan is to get it all the way back here. I'm gonna have to move Sweaty Betty, but I want to get the crawler in the back area here so I can get it up on cribbing and start taking it apart and everything. So let's see what we can do. All right, well, plan is to see if my little 855 will actually move this thing up. We'll see. Finally, something going in my favor. Imagine that. Well, they say where there's a will, there's a way. So it's here. It's final resting spot for a little while anyway. It's a little crooked, kind of OCD kicking in here, but the 855 did a good job. Got her in. Did the best I could with these mats. I'm sure you probably saw with the time lapse, I was struggling a little bit. Dug up the grass, not too bad, but I'm sure I'll have to do a little patch in there and Get a little reprimand from the wifey wife, but all in a day's work, I guess, right? So, yeah. Once it was rolling, 855 was able to get her off pretty good. Wouldn't even budget when it was on the trailer with the tracks locked up, so. But, yeah, it is over here. And, I'll end up getting it up on some cribbing and pull the tracks off and the final drives and see if we can't see what we got going on in here. Yeah, still all hard up against that. So it turns, but it's got a lot of resistance. I think that's why I was having such a hard time getting it spun around to try to get it in here. So it's pretty close. I'll adjust it with the come along again. So I'm sure, as you saw in that little time lapse, sometimes you have to think outside the box a little bit. The 4x4s that I have for my lean-to shelter out here aren't the strongest, but as long as you get the strap down at the bottom, the base of it, gives you your best chance of not breaking anything. And of course, a little common sense, you hear it start to crack, then well, it's probably a little too much for it. But anyway, did the trick. So it's here. It's where it's going to be for the resto, and more videos to come, I assure you. Enjoy, like, subscribe, share. I need to start making money off this thing so I can buy some grass seed to fix my lawn. All right, have a good one.